The fifth planet was the smallest of all. There was just enough room for a street lamp and a lamplighter. When he lit his lamp, it's as if he was bringing one more star to life, or one more flower. When he put out his lamp, that sent the flower or the star to sleep. The little prince thought it was a fine occupation and therefore truly useful, but it was a terrible job. Year by year, the planet was turning faster and faster.
Good morning. Why have you just put out your lamp?
Orders. Good morning.
And what orders are those?
To put out my street lamp. Good evening.
And he lit his lamp again.
But why have you just lit your lamp again?
Orders.
I don't understand.
There is nothing to understand. Orders are orders. Good morning. It's a terrible job I have. It used to be reasonable enough. I put the lamp out mornings and lit it after dark. I had the rest of the day for my own affairs and the rest of the night for sleeping. And orders haven't changed.
Which means
that now that the planet revolves once a minute, I don't have an instant's rest. I light my lamp and turn it out once every minute. Good evening.
The little prince watched him, growing fonder and fonder of his lamplighter, who was so faithful to orders. He wanted to help his friend.
You know, I can show you a way to take a rest whenever you want to.
What good does that do me? When the one thing in life I want to do is sleep.
Then you're out of luck.
As he continued on his journey, the little prince thought that the lamplighter was the only one who didn't strike him as ridiculous, because he was the only one thinking of something besides himself. The sixth planet was 10 times bigger than the last. It was inhabited by an old gentleman who wrote enormous books. He was a geographer. A geographer is a scholar who knows where the seas are, and the rivers, and cities, the mountains, and the deserts. All geographers love to meet explorers that come from another planet.
Where I live is not very interesting. It's so small. I have 3 volcanoes, 2 active and 1 extinct. I also have a flower.
Geographers are not interested in ephemeral things. They're not interested in flowers. The little prince went on his way thinking of his ephemeral flower he had left alone. She only had 4 thorns in which to defend herself against the world. The 7th planet was the Earth. The Earth is not just another planet. It contains 111 kings, 7,000 geographers, 900,000 businessmen, 7.5 million drunkards, 311 million egotists, in other words, about 2 billion grown-ups. So, once he reached Earth, the little prince was quite surprised not to see anyone. He was beginning to fear he had come to the wrong planet when a moon-colored loop uncoiled on the sand.
Who are you?
A snake.
What planet have I landed on?
On the planet Earth, in Africa.
Ah. And are there no people on Earth?
It's the desert here. There are no people in the desert. Earth is very big.
The little prince sat down on a rock and looked up into the sky.
Look at my planet. It's just overhead, but so far away.
It's lovely. What have you come to Earth for?
I'm having difficulties with the flower.
Ah.
Where are the people? It's a little lonely in the desert.
It's also lonely with people.
You're a funny creature, no thicker than a finger.
But I'm more powerful than a king's finger.
You're not very powerful. You don't even have feet. You couldn't travel very far.
I can take you further than a ship.
He coiled around the little prince's ankle like a golden bracelet.
Anyone I touch, I send back to the land from which he came. But you're innocent, and you come from a star. I feel sorry for you being so weak on this granite Earth. I can help you someday if you grow too homesick for your planet. I can...
Oh, I understand just what you mean.
And they were both silent. Having walked a long time through sand, searching for people, the little prince finally discovered a road. The road led to a blossoming rose garden. The little prince gazed at them. All of them looked like his flower. He felt very unhappy. His flower had told him she was the only one of her kind in the whole universe, and here were 5,000 of them, all just alike, in just one garden. She would be very annoyed if she saw this.
If she saw this, she would cough terribly and pretend to be dying, to avoid being laughed at. And I'd have to pretend to be nursing her. Otherwise, she'd really let herself die in order to humiliate me. I thought I was rich because I had one flower, and all I own is an ordinary rose.
Standing among the 5,000 roses, the little prince suddenly felt very lonely. He climbed a high mountain, hoping he would get a view of the whole planet and all the people on it. But he saw nothing but rocky peaks as sharp as needles.
Where are you? Let's be friends! I'm lonely!
And he lay down in the grass and wept. It was then that the fox appeared.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who are you? You're very pretty.
I'm a fox.
Come and play with me. I'm feeling so sad.
I can't play with you. I'm not tamed.
Excuse me? What does tamed mean?
You're not from around here. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for people. What does tamed mean?
People have guns and they hunt. It's quite troublesome. And they raise chickens. It's the only interesting thing about them. Are you looking for chickens?
No, I'm looking for friends. What does tamed mean?
It's something that's been too often neglected. It means to create ties.
To create ties?
That's right. For me, you're only a little boy, just like 100,000 other little boys. And I have no need of you. And you have no need of me either. For you, I'm only a fox, like 100,000 other foxes. But if you tame me, we'll need each other. You'll be the only boy in the world for me. I'll be the only fox in the world for you.
I'm beginning to understand. There's a flower. I think she's tamed me.
Possibly. On Earth one sees all kinds of things.
Oh, this isn't on Earth.
On another planet?
Yes.
Well, are there hunters on that planet?
No.
Now that's interesting. And chickens?
No.
Oh, nothing's perfect. My life is monotonous. I hunt chickens, people hunt me. All chickens are just alike, and all men are just alike. But if you tame me, my life will be filled with sunshine. I'll know the sound of footsteps that will be different from all the rest. Other footsteps send me back underground. Yours will call me out of my burrow like music. Please, tame me.
I'd like to, but I haven't much time. I have friends to find, and so many things to learn.
The only things you learn are the things you tame.
Well, what do I have to do?
You have to be very patient. First, you'll sit down a little ways from me over there in the grass. But day by day, you'll be able to sit a little closer.
That was how the little prince tamed the fox. And when the time to leave was near,
I shall weep.
It's your own fault. I never wanted to do you any harm, but you insisted that I tame you.
I'll make you the gift of a secret. It's quite simple. One sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes.
Anything essential is invisible to the eye.
It's the time you spent on your rose that makes your rose so important. People have forgotten this truth, but you mustn't forget it. You become responsible forever for what you've tamed.
I'm responsible for my rose.
Goodbye.